Hello and welcome back. Today in this episode we will delve into the analysis and the interpretation, which is the third or the fourth step from our general workflow. As we saw in the last video, we delve in how to create custom templates, how to use the diagnostic plots predefined template. It's very useful to identify the flow regime, either we are in the single phase flow or multi-phase flow, because it depends on a lot of parameters and also it affects the analysis. So the next step, inshallah, we will delve into. I will delete this worksheet. I don't need it anymore, and I want to create the first step on our analysis using the type curve. Okay, we will start making some flavor using a placing game type curve, but we will not explain placing game in detail maybe in later videos. But the most important purpose of the type curve, or by other mean, why do we need the type curve? The type curve analysis is to perform the analysis of the well performance data to find matching curve. If a match is found, then the same reservoir can be quickly deduced. Okay. However, we have some limitation in the type curve analysis, so the scientist and the engineer come up with what is called dimensionless variable. Dimensionless variable in the type curve has some advantage. It reduces the number of variables that we have to juggle, simplify and generalize the reservoir irrespective of the nature and the location, allow multiple different operation conditions. Let me show you one example. If you can see here in this plot, we have two different wells. Okay, this well in the violet color and the second well with the blue color. These are having different initial rate, different decline parameters. Okay, but when we use the dimensionless variable using the Vitkovich method for the dimensionless rate and dimensionless time, we come up with this plot using the Q dimensionless rate and dimensionless time draw in log paper. So as you can see here, both of the wells lay one another. There is something strange and weird here. There's two different wells here if we draw the rate versus time in Cartesian plot, but once we shifted all the data to dimensionless rate and dimensionless time, they lay one another. And this is the effectiveness and this is the importance of the dimensionless time and rate when we draw in the log paper. So from here we can compare multiple reservoir, multiple completion, because the type curve analysis we have a curve for different completion, different reservoir parameters, so we can end up with a limited variability. But by using the dimensionless parameters, we can quickly deduct and calculate the parameters like permeability and the porosity. So how we can do this in the model, our model here. Let's come here and choose vertical from Harmony Enterprise Reservoir. As we saw earlier, we have a forecast module, we have reservoir module, and we have optimize. So from reservoir Harmony, we choose the type of the well, which is oil well, type curve, and radial flow, and we will start with placing game. Okay, as you can see here, we have here our data point. In the type curve, we have two different regimes. As you can see here, in the left we have the left side and we have the right side. The left side, which represents the transient period, and the right side, which is the pseudo-state flow or boundary dominated flow. What differentiates placing game from Vitkovich is placing game using analytical model, and also Vitkovich using the analytical model in transient period, but Vitkovich in the boundary dominated flow using empirical methods, empirical correlations. But here placing game come up with analytical solution. Okay, so we are trying now to fitting the data, but as you can see, there is some kind of noise around the data. So maybe this data need to be cleaned up. Also, we have some parallel lines. If you can see here, we have some parallel lines here, and this is most likely due to changing choking, changing operation condition, maybe some work over. So all of these need to be filter. How I can do the filter? I can get here to this icon and choose the lasso tool, and for example I want to remove these points, maybe it's not following the trend, so by right click, not the left click, here right click and draw like lasso tool so it will disappear. Also this point maybe, this is just for demonstration, it doesn't depend on any intuition, it doesn't depend on any experience, maybe it's wrong, maybe it's right, so don't take it as a workflow or something you have to follow, just for demonstration. So I will need to change all these data. Also maybe this data is not correct, so I need to remove them. Also this data, also this. Okay, so now I come back to here. As you can see here, I can have some kind of matching. Okay, we have here automatic match parameter, which is the RED, which is like we have here, which is a division between the RE, the radius of investigation, or the reservoir boundary, divided by the apparent effective radius of the well. So it's like RE over RWA. Okay, so I can choose it from here, or I can just click automatic curve match. Okay, so it picked up this curve, and depending on this curve, once we identified that we have here already reached to pseudo radial flow or the boundary dominated flow, and we have curve here, so the parameter will be estimated for the permeability, the skin, the area, and also for sure the original oil in base. Maybe the log plot, as you can see here, this is a normalized rate and material balance time, but actually what happened, as we know from this presentation, this is slide, that we draw the dimensionless rate and dimensionless time. So what did the software do? It takes all of this data, make a back calculation depending on the log plot, and then give you the result. So actually this graph is above another one, if it correctly paraphrase it, another one like log plot between the rate and the normalized rate, normalized time. So maybe when I do filtering here over the log plot or the normalized rate, normalized material balance time, maybe could be some saying some misleading in the data. So it's preferable to do it on the raw data itself. So how I can do this? So from here I want to reverse what I did, so I have to select all the data from this check mark. Okay, as you can see here, all the data are recovered again, and I can come here to this funnel data filter, and as you can see here I have all the raw data. Maybe I can make it bigger here. I want to just do one overlay the other to see the direct effect. So I will do the same from this filter, lasso tool. Most likely while the transient period we have some noise, so maybe this data is not correct, so I will remove. Also this data seems noise. Also, as you can see here, there is something happened to the oil rate and the pressure suddenly, and this is not a reservoir. If it happened suddenly, it's not a reservoir effect. So maybe some conditional during the operation or choking back the well. Maybe this data. Okay, okay, here, here. Okay. So once I done this, I just click apply. As you can see here, the data already filtered depending on what I did here. So this is for all for this video. Thank you for watching. If you found it useful, please like, share and subscribe. See you later inshallah in next videos.